I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me. That means wherever I want to go, you take me. Wherever I want, you bring me.
Shut up.
That's courting.
No, that's not courting. Courting is not being a servant to your every beck and whim. This chick is absolutely a bozo. Imagine trying to court a chick that doesn't even want to hold your hand.
She will let him spin, and spin.
Yep.
Knowing she's not interested in this man.
Yep.
Do you feel that that's wrong?
No.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Reviews and Reviews. Back in here with one more video. So it appears that the Cheesecake Factory hating young woman just recently went on a podcast with the young man that held his own. Shout out to this content creator, Kevin Wesley, The Truth Factory. If you guys want to see the video with all my comments in it, click on the link down in the description box down below. I will have it linked. But let's do a formal investigation on why she acted like a tyrannical human being. Without further ado.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you? Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we going.
So, now here we are, a few weeks later. I'm sure you've had some time to think about what you guys discussed in the car. I'm sure you've had some time to think about it. Before I ask you any questions, have you guys had a second date?
No.
No second dates.
Not yet.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Jay. What has dating been like for you since that video went viral?
Since I was on the video, kind of unexpected. I might not have put my best foot forward, and so I feel like, I've not really met anyone since who I've really gotten to get to know like that, because a lot of women, they might have seen the video or might have heard from it, or maybe a friend of them has seen the video and shares it with them. And so they kind of had this image of me based on the video.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't really helped.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like they might think everything about me is reflected in that video, and I don't think it is. And but yeah, it's been difficult.
Sure.
Well, and it's even before this, dating has already been difficult for me.
Yeah.
I imagine your views kind of clash with what you're looking for and what they're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because I think in general my values kind of reflect wanting to build something that lasts.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that anyone that I meet is willing to build a really strong foundation based on our mutual values. And I think it in general, a lot of the people that I meet, either they don't have time to set towards building something like that, or they just don't want to. Because they're
modern
younger,
women.
they want to experience, casual dating or whatever it is.
Yes. Sexually
And it's
liberated.
just not something that I'm
You don't
looking
want
for
that
right now.
Right. Now, real quick, what's so interesting about what the things that he just said was, so the interviewer asked him, how has it been like trying to date after this, after the fanfare, after you've gone viral? And he said something in the vein of, well, I haven't put my best foot out there, and I think that people have this perception of me. Also combine what he's saying right here towards his body language, his confidence, his posture. He's slouched over, not looking very confident. So I think what he's thinking is that because he had the cojones to stand up for himself, women will look at that as negative. And he has to understand that, no, women can only love a man that they can respect. You created boundaries which increase respect. You should be parading that video on your IG like it's a badge of honor. Let's proceed.
Understood. So obviously, guys, Jay's saying that they have they're viewing him in a negative light when it comes to dating. When I saw Jay, I saw someone who was making some excellent points, who knew what he wanted, and he's actually now like a Giga Chad in the manosphere world, in the red pill community. The brother's being mentioned everywhere for the way he handled that conversation.
No. He's not a Giga Chad, my G. Giga Chads are not slouched over like this. They'd have their chest out, their arms back. They'd have more confidence when they speak. They'd be exuding a lot more masculinity, which is why I keep on telling you guys that content like this on this side of the internet is so damn important for these young men that are actually looking for relationships, or shit, even if they're not, just to understand what it is that their image exudes, because maybe they don't even know. The same way she didn't know how much of a terrorist that she was until she saw it on video, and then the internet got on her shit. Let's proceed.
Now I'm going to ask Alicia as well, because during this conversation, Alicia.
Thank you.
We'll get that right. Okay, so Alicia, you didn't seem to really disagree with what he was saying. Now you had definitely a different opinion before he gave you his mind, right? But you seemed very receptive to it. Can you explain to me kind of what you were thinking and how you saw him in that video? Because he's saying they took him in a negative light. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think once we had the conversation, I could see my role in the conflict.
Okay.
It was 100% you.
Let's back up a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me. That means wherever I want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want, you buy me.
Shut up.
That's courting.
No, that's not courting. Courting is not being a servant to your every beck and whim. This chick is absolutely a bozo. Imagine trying to court a chick that doesn't even want to hold your hand, but she wants $120 plus meals at high-end restaurants. She's insane. The self-entitlement is at an all-time high, but continues to demonstrate the mind of a modern woman today. Because even at 30 plus, average at best, overweight, obnoxious attitude, and with body counts that exceed the fingers on your hand and the toes on your foot, they expect the absolute world from the modern man today.
I'm looking for a provider. So, but after the conversation, I could see how there was a lot of in that exchange. I was definitely very self-centered, and I can appreciate if I do want someone to provide for me, I at least gotta be a little bit nice.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now I ask you this.
Duh.
Based on your idea of dating before your conversation with Jay, how did you grow up? Who also thinks that way? I'm sure you have friends who think that way.
Just real quick, this is why so many modern women today hated Kevin Samuels, because he was able to point a mirror at them, and they looked at themselves and they hated what they saw.
I've heard it a lot.
I mean, everybody. I mean, that's what he's supposed to be, the provider.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm a beautiful woman, so I'm expecting to be treated like royalty. I mean, come on. So that's what I was doing.
But the kicker is, how do we treat him? And that's where that disconnect was.
Me.
In the video, now of course I'm sure you think of it differently now, but in the video you basically told him that you're not going in there, you know your value. It would be embarrassing for you to go inside a Cheesecake Factory. A lot of people like Cheesecake Factory.
Word.
Now
it's delicious.
So when I see that video, I'm thinking, okay, she must have some friends who probably would disagree with her going inside the Cheesecake Factory.
Echo chamber.
Your
Yeah.
peer group.
Yep.
So
I would
peer
never-
pressure probably
I
keeps
would
you from.
never live that. Oh my God! I would have never lived that down.
Wow,
I
just
mean-
date the Cheesecake Factory. They wouldn't let you live that down.
Whoa.
Oh, I have an image to protect.
Wow.
It does not do that. That was, that was my circle though. That's how.
Sure.
I mean, that's how we roll.
It's just a circle full of delusion. Women like this and women within her echo chamber will forever have an unrealistic expectation of men. But at the end of the day, it's their decision to feel that way. Meanwhile, I'll be damned if she even deserves a 2-for-1 margaritas at the local Tex-Mex. Just imagine all of the eligible men that she turned down and is going to go back later in life and say, where did all the good men go?
Sure.
I mean, to be quite blunt, that's how we roll. Hypergamy is a big thing in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we've been taught. Why? I mean, as a
Sprinkle,
black
sprinkle.
woman, I'm gonna go there. I mean, as a black woman,
Oh, God.
we're really tired of having to settle. We want to be treated well.
Mm-hmm.
We want that soft life. So that's what I thought I was going after. However, what I understand is a part of having a soft life is being cooperative.
Being soft.
Not being
Being
combative,
soft.
You're
right?
Actually being soft.
Right,
Right.
right,
Being receptive, being
right.
sweet.
Absolutely.
Being pleasant. Right. Because we do understand the value of resources, but it can't be just something for a lifestyle. Resources, a man's resources is not just for a woman's experiences and traveling and the lifestyle they'll live when married. Is for providing for the family and the children. And that's why she should seek a man and, respect his resources or prioritize his resources, not just for what it can do for her.
Right.
Right. And so when you were in the beginning
Big
of it,
true.
you was just saying, I'm not doing it. It seemed really selfish.
It
right.
was.
And I appreciated that when I saw the video myself. That's one of the things I covered is, wow, I've never seen a woman that receptive to being accountable. Right. And you were.
To her credit, towards the end of the video, she did apologize to him. And even though she was in the wrong, I'm surprised she even posted the video. But this is a perfect example of how women like her want something out of men, but don't elicit the type of behavior to get an expected result or an outcome. Masculine men love to treat deserving, respectful, soft and sweet and beautiful feminine women. It is absolutely our kryptonite. But what did you show to your date? Combativeness. You showed that you don't even know what peace is. You, ma'am, showed that you're a full-on diva and demonstrated to all of us why you get the result of no relationship throughout your life.
But Jay, however, didn't want to go out on a date. He wanted to discontinue that date, and he wanted to take it on to the house. Jay, is that your first time stopping a date midway through and going on back home, or?
Probably.
Yeah, something like that's. I'm sorry, at least that's the first time I've really put
He
my
still
foot
likes
down
her.
to that kind of extent. But it's not like an isolated incident. You
Right.
know?
Good
Like,
point.
I've gone on dates with several people now, even before her.
It's happened to me too, guys. For all of the 30.5 women that watch this channel, go look in the comment section right now, my G's. I want you to write your dating horror stories down in the comment box right now. I have a ton of them as well. I'm looking at this chick oh, word? You think I'm a fool? Let me tell you guys a quick trick as well. Here's what you can do. If the date is going absolutely horribly, and you don't want to sit there through the awkwardness of the waiter asking you, so one bill or two. What you do is you go up to the bathroom. You go to the restroom midway in the date, right? Like when she's looking at her phone or whatever the hell that they be doing on these goddamn dates now. Go tell the waiter while you're up at the bathroom, yo, my G, put it on 2 tabs. Don't even ask me when you come down to the table. And then he'll bring 2 tabs. And then she'll get her tab and you'll get your tab. Put your card or your tab, put it at the end of the table, and then you done with it. Okay? This is what we must do nowadays because of the modern woman's attitude. Because we don't want to get taken advantage on a foodie call. Let's proceed.
Where they had very specific things they were looking for in a boyfriend or whatever. And even within my own circles, right? And that's just not something that I'm looking for. Because I was raised, like we were talking about how she was raised, whereas with me, my family, we've passed down the name for ages, and we're a very close-knit, strong family.
You've passed down your first name, Jay? Like
Yes.
your father's and father.
Yeah,
How many generations, probably?
I mean, I couldn't really count it myself.
Wow.
Because I mean, the thing is, like, I'm from India.
Okay.
You know, and the partition happened where, like, India was separated from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my family were on both sides of that, and we had to come back together.
Wow.
And we had to.
Wow.
It was very important for us to stay strong after the fact. At the time, maybe we didn't care as much about creating this legacy, but ever since, it's like that's
what he
been
cares
one
about.
of the strongest parts of our family is
Wow.
the importance in creating our legacy. And with that in mind, like, I've grown up with the idea that I want a strong family here now that I'm living in America. The only
Sorry, my G. You might as well just go ahead and get your passport. This is how this is how a passport bro, not even from here, from India/Pakistan, came over here, and now you're dating the Western modern woman today. And at your tender age, you want family, but you're slowly finding out that they ain't about that life. Not all, but the majority. Let's proceed.
relationships I seek are ones where that is the only value. That is the biggest value. That is the most important thing for the other person as well as for me.
Wow. That's actually powerful. So your family going through all that they did, it caused you guys to really idealize relationships, right? And
Specifically, relationships that last.
Look at the sadness in her face. It's almost as if she's realizing right here that although they were both on a date together, really only he is worthy of husband material. He has the mindset while she does not. He's in the wrong dating market. While he's looking for a traditional, sweet and soft woman, she's clearly not prepared for it. While his family was passing down his name from generation to generation, Black culture, Black people have been fighting with each other with the highest divorce rates and the lowest marriage rates. While listening to Cardi B telling them not to cook nor to clean, and listening to a Sukiana as well as a Sexy Red to teach them how to be thoughts.
Absolutely. And so here you are in America dating.
Yeah.
And mostly in our culture, where you stated earlier you were a Black woman. Of course, we have been through some things, right? In our culture here in the States and throughout the whole diaspora, I like using that word. But a lot of times our culture has been stripped, and we haven't yet began to idealize relationships, you know, so we're more so going along with the flow. So here he is in America, and he's ready. A woman who's in America, and she sees dating the way Americans see dating. And so I can see the clash in
Material.
that. You know,
Big clash.
He's looking at you as if that's selfish. You're looking at him as if, you know, he's treating you beneath your worth, your actual value. So here's what I want to do, guys. I want to go back a bit. Can y'all tell me how y'all met? I want you to tell me how you guys met.
So I was in Midtown, and like I
Atlanta?
didn't even have time to go out with friends and all that, but it was a really close friend's birthday, so I went to get some drinks for the first time in ages, and I saw this beautiful woman who it seemed like every other guy in the bar was either intimidated by or too shy to talk to, and I thought, what the hell? Why not?
She's a large
she was,
woman.
You know, minding
Like,
her
she
own
looks
business,
tall.
and I asked her, you know, her name, Alicia, and I thought that's a beautiful name. And even despite how loud it was in the bar, we were still able to talk a little here and there. And I got her number, and she had to go. And so
Shot
we
a
kept
shot.
talking after that.
Shoot
for
a
little
shoot.
bit, and then like a week later, I asked her, "You want to go out? I mean, to this restaurant?"
Yeah.
And I told her it would be a surprise. And maybe that might be a problem on my part. You know, it might have raised the expectations a little bit. But I guess the surprise ended up being Cheesecake Factory, where
Right.
the original surprise was,
I want to get to that. You had something else planned for her, right?
Yeah.
Because of how the evening went.
She was an
the
hour
Cheesecake
late.
Factory happened, right?
yeah.
So
Can I just say before?
Sure.
I love the Cheesecake Factory.
Word.
And it's a place that I've gone to for like every birthday. So like it wasn't just like a random restaurant to me. It was also like a place that I've gone with my family throughout my entire life, and I love Cheesecake Factory.
So you didn't. So obviously the because you guys were late, she wasn't ready. You weren't able to take her to the restaurant that you wanted to take her to. You figured I can't go wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yeah.
It's my old birthday restaurant. You know,
It's my lucky.
she'll love it.
And that's the lucky spot too at the perimeter.
Lucky spot.
Hopefully that makes you feel like shit, man. Let's go.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Well, no, I'm kidding with you.
Okay.
Alicia.
Yes.
So Jay, you see Jay walking up to you in the bar, say Midtown. He's walking up to you. He's gonna talk with you. There are other guys around you. Did you notice those guys probably want to talk to you? Did you see that? And
Yes, I did.
so what made you say, okay, I'm going to give this guy a chance? What was it about him?
Okay.
Well, he was bold enough to come up and talk to me for
Confidence,
one.
okay.
So yes, I definitely am attracted to confidence. He just seemed like he had a pure heart. He was, very thoughtful, engaging. I mean, the only he won me over. He did win me over, but I'm a tall woman, and so there wasn't necessarily like that immediate attraction. But as we began to talk, it was really his heart that made me say, I'll give this guy a try.
Shout out to all my short kings out there. Don't let this chick dismay you, okay? So because you're a tall woman, you shit tested the short king until kingdom come, huh? Until he had to win you over. Well, it looks as though his prize was a bag of shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you draw your line? Is that typically you don't date guys who are, guys have to be at least your height or taller before you would date them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. That probably makes it difficult finding someone suitable for yourself. You are what, 6'1", 6?
I'm almost 6'1", yes.
Almost 6'1". Wow. So
Big
that
lady.
means, let's see, 14.5% of men are at least 6 feet.
She's
right. But that next 2 inches for you to find someone taller than you, that's 3.6% of men in the entire world.
She looks over
that
200
are
pounds.
tall enough that they're at least 6'2".
I know.
Is that discouraging?
Yeah, it's a low number.
I mean, I only need one. I only need to
You need one, but he needs to be that height. He needs to make the resources,
Needs to like your attitude.
right?
Yeah.
He needs to be funny. He needs to be charismatic. He needs to be disciplined. And that doesn't discourage you?
And he's also got to be a goddamn thug part-time.
Like,
I'm an optimist. But no.
You're an unrealist.
No, I mean,
Optimist.
logically speaking, I understand what you're saying. I've heard this many times. But I haven't given up on
Delusion.
and I hadn't given up on that. But I'm actually open. I really enjoyed our conversation, so I would consider.
well, sure. And I was going to commend you for that. I didn't see it as I know you're saying that they have to be that height, but it seems that you are willing to, make an exception, just like you did for Jay here when he walked up and he had the confidence of a 6'2" man. You were willing to at least hear what he had to say, and that's a good thing. Because it may not be the cookie cutter thing that you plan out. So if we're going to look for a happy relationship, a harmonic one that gives our children and our lineage what they need for years and generations to come, right? We may have to make an exception or two, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not what we want; it's what we need, and we have to be more open to what we need.
That's absolutely true. I was going to say, when it comes to how we date, I think a lot of it is just the information that we have, right? So what I noticed from yours and Alicia's conversation, Jay, is that you had a different view of altogether of what dating should look like leading up to a relationship, and she had a different view. And now,
Like, what I should say is, I mean, at the very end of the day, like, I understand dating in America is different from where my family's from, and in a way, like, is perfectly fine.
No. The interviewer is now gaslighting him a little bit. Maybe he's just doing this in order to get her to not walk off of the show, but it wasn't a different view. She had the exact same view as him. She said it in the video about being respectful, protection, like all of these different things. He was doing all of that, keeping her safe. He was doing all of that. The only difference in the view is where he was taking her to. That's it. If this woman was soft, sweet, caring as what she purports to be, do you not think that this guy would not take care of her? Do you not think that a guy like this would treat her like the princess that she thinks that she deserves? I think he would do exactly just that. She's just not worthy of that treatment.
To have those views and to think of dating differently, I just think, for me, I have a very specific criteria, and it's not a long list of criteria, but it's just certain values that I...
Sure. Well, I think a lot like you. That's why the video stood out to me. I believe relationships should be harmonic. They should be for a reason. So I believe in dating with intent, right? Yeah. But many people in our generation today, they see dating as something that's just fun. They don't see it as a way to establish a healthy relationship. And that's what I was going to say. There's almost little to no understanding as to what dating should look like when you're trying to establish an intent for a meaningful relationship. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much that people are necessarily selfish or entitled. It's more so that they don't know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oftentimes we think we know, but we really don't.
Right. Yeah. Right. So when he asked you the question, you expect men to go all out on a date, huh? You said absolutely. If he likes her, he should present that, right? Yes. He should lead and be masculine. Okay. He should be willing to pay for the meal.
Let's see his follow-up question.
Open doors for her, the whole nine.
Okay. Now
but when he asked you, what does a woman expect you to do? Oh. You said, look good. Yeah. Be there. And that's where the
disconnect was. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a good interviewer. I like what you just did there, my G, right? You set her up with what she thought within the question, then you follow up with the other side of the coin. So she can say yes to what she said, and then she has the option to say no to what you say after that, which then sides with the guy. So you see right there that she agrees with the synopsis right there, which I think was a good way to call that out. Shout out, my G.
Because there should be things that a woman should do, right? So if you've thought about that,
right? What are they?
Could you tell me some of what you've?
He's good. I like him.
If you would ask you that question today,
sure. If you think about, watching the video, it's like, how do you expect this person to keep giving, and you're not giving anything back? So now we're depleted.
Absolutely.
And so who's going to pour into him?
Wow.
So I mean, if you truly do want that type of protection provider, there has to be some balance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So.
Wow, that's very powerful.
What's interesting about her answer, though, notice how she's separating herself from the video. She said, if you watch the video. She just didn't come out and say, this is what I would do differently. She said, if you watch the video. And I think in her mind, she saw someone that maybe she didn't think of herself as, but it took someone holding up a mirror to make it come true.
There was this time where you wanted her to hold your arm, right? And walk you so you could walk her to the car, and she didn't want to do that. Yeah. You expressed to her that you didn't like that. And that made you feel like, of course, when her not being on your arm, how can you truly protect her, right? But also her not doing that says she ain't really feeling me like that. Yeah. She don't really like me like that.
And, I get, it was a first date. Maybe she's not at that stage yet. But
I get that too.
Yeah.
Question, let's just say you're out with him, right? You're on a date with a guy and some guy comes up, takes your purse. Do you want your date to have your back?
Absolutely. And there's one of the major double standards of dating today. I'm expected to die for you. You don't even want to hold my hand? And if I don't put myself in the line of fire, then I'm not masculine. Oh, wow. Well, if you don't hold my hand, does that make you not feminine? Let go.
Yeah.
So she expects that.
And even if he's not ready for that yet, right? Because he shouldn't even ask you on a date if he's not going to protect you if something were to happen to you. This is why you should take his arm. You see, so it may feel like I'm giving this guy too much of me.
She's out her echo
it's more
chamber.
Like I'm being cooperative to the roles that we're playing. He's going to protect me if something happens right now, and so I'm going to stand close to him. This lets the people on the outside looking in know that I'm with this man. He is taking care of me. We're out together, right?
It's like it kind of shows
point.
that you trust.
Absolutely.
I think I felt like
trust is a big word.
What women get out of a date is a free bodyguard. Because if anything goes wrong with her, he has to really put his life on the line for her. Mm-hmm. So if a man asks you out on a date, you shouldn't say, I'm not ready to hold your hand.
The hypocrisy of the modern woman today, what do you mean trust is a big word? So you trusted him so you don't have to work as hard in the day, but you don't trust him enough to hold his, like it doesn't make sense to me. Now he knows where you live. What if he's a crazy guy? You trusted him enough to come and pick you up. What? Oh, now when you get up out your echo chamber, you begin to understand how men think about things. And this goes to why the 30.5 women that watch this channel right here should be 32 by the end of this, at least hopefully, because you guys need to get out your echo chamber to hear how men think about things, to hear our sides of the story. But you get so convoluted with just the call and response of one modern woman back to another modern woman that no one ever challenges the way that you think about things. Oh, I never thought of that before. I wonder why.
I know that seems like a move forward in a relationship, so to speak, but it's actually just part of a date. Your goal is to give him an example of what it would look like if you were his partner, and his goal is to do the same. Yeah. So to a man, you not doing those things makes it appear that you're not that interested.
If definitely not ready to be a partner, I guess.
It also kills his ability to be completely masculine for you on that date, because if you won't take his arm, then, you know.
I feel like when you just said like trust is a big word, it is a big word, but maybe the way I saw it is when you wanted to go out with me at all, that was you trusting me.
You're right.
And it did kind of hurt a little bit. I mean, again, I can respect boundaries, but it did still at the same time hurt my feelings if you didn't trust me.
And of course, as men,
you know what's so interesting is that I'm beginning to think that the modern black woman today claims that they are the least protected because they refuse protection, either knowingly or unknowingly.
We're going to try to be receptive to that and understand where you're coming from. But it does kind of limit his ability to do his full, to be his full masculine self in that capacity, right?
Yeah.
The last thing I had here was intellectual stimulation. Mm-hmm. Right. So we like when a woman can respond back and be attentive, right? Yeah. Have a good conversation, right? We look for that in women. And I definitely think she appeared to have that. You guys started off it was a little difficult conversation, but it seems like she understood you. She was receptive to what you were saying. Is that typical for you?
Well, typically a lot of the girls that I met, as I said, like they're literally only trying to date to date or to like have, I don't know, I'm allowed to use the word fuck buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. We're in hookup culture.
We're in a hookup culture, yeah. Exactly. And so like they're just looking for that. And so it's like, sometimes it's not necessarily about the values or anything like that. Maybe it's like more small talk, maybe, and maybe sometimes it feels like it's something that'll take more time to get her to open up or something like that. Where at the end of the day, they don't want a second date because we haven't gotten to know each other. And that to me sounds so irritating because you didn't want to get to know, we didn't get to know each other because they wouldn't want to talk.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
I completely understand. So as a man dating with intent, you're ending up in these situations where a lot of times you're in hookup culture. And so you're not getting a second date out of it. Meanwhile, here you are, you have spent your money, you spent time with this person who you're never going to likely see again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's so interesting of a point because so many women today are just like, I don't want to go on a date because, what if he just wants to, just do me? But then you got guys like this that are just like, well, I don't want to go on a date because what if she's just trying to use me? Okay? Happens on both sides of the coin.
Women oftentimes are looking at dates as what they can get out of them, right? An experience, right? Take me to a nice restaurant. Look, I want the ambiance. I want the treatment, right? And with no intent of doing anything special for the guy after the date. So it's almost like it's almost like she's getting over on him, right?
Yep.
Like she's using them for meals. And that's what men say. I'm not going to keep taking these women out.
Nope.
If they don't like me.
Yep.
Don't go out if you don't like me. Because then it wouldn't end up where he's on the outside looking into the thing. And what do women say oftentimes when he's upset? I took you to this restaurant, I did that, and now you don't want to get close to me, you're not ready. And she's like, well, you wanted to do it?
Yep. Exactly.
She will let him spin, and spin.
Yep.
Knowing she's not interested in this man.
Yep.
Do you feel that that's wrong?
No,
Stop. Do you feel that that's wrong? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, she hasn't learned her lesson at all. Do you feel that that is wrong? What she said? Hold on.
Do you feel that that's wrong?
no, I don't like users. I mean, I do think I think that we're all adults and there's enough of every type out here to where that's not even necessary.
Oh no, she just likes free shit. Guys, I'm gonna end the video right here. I had a ton of fun with this video here today. Shout out again. I'll leave a link to this down in the comment box if you don't want to see my commentary for it. Again, go down there, go to the channel, show them love, like the video, all of that stuff right there. I think that it's awesome that there's content creators out there that are actually putting conversations like this together, so we have to promote them so they can continue to do more in the future. Shout out to the interview. I think you did a fantastic job, my G. Here's the last thing that I just wanted to say. I kind of alluded to a second ago. She just didn't really like him like that. She would have done well at Cheesecake Factory. But what happens is just the same way that she put all of this added pressure on him because he's shorter than her. When he was first, like she said, he had to prove it to me. It goes into the same logic of taking her out to the best restaurant because he has to prove it to me. It's this toxic mind warp. It's this toxic mindset that self-fulfills singleness because she's unrealistically determining herself to be a 10, to bring everything to the table, to be a goddess, to be a princess. So delusional. It's insanity at this point. Truth of the matter is they haven't gone on a date. He would, in my opinion, absolutely accept date number 2 or try number 1 again if she said yes to him. I think that he would. He just seems like that type of nice/good guy. But anyway, hopefully you guys are still with me up to this point right here. Again, fantastic video. And really what it is that it helps us understand the mindset of the dating culture between the modern man and the modern woman today to an absolute T. So we got to continue to have more conversation like this to elucidate to all of the viewers, all of the watchers, how we can do it better going into the future. Fact of the matter, Cheesecake Factory, mama, you messed up. It's delicious food over there. All right? Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, light up the comment section for this one. Let's get a whole conversation regarding this one right here. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me your dating stories, your snafus with the modern woman today, and also what you feel about this particular interview. Leave timestamps so I know exactly what in the video that you were talking about. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.